You didn't say this was for tomorrow in Discord? Yeah, it was for tomorrow. All right, let's get started. At least 5 people have been killed in California's Eaton fire. Fires are ravaging through many different parts of Los Angeles right now. Let's take a look.
The same stories. We welcome you to CBS Mornings. Of course, we're all thinking about the people of Los Angeles today. I know you are too, facing the most destructive wildfires in the city's history, and the pictures are staggering. This is a look at a new fire that broke out last night. It's a Sunset Fire right here in the heart of Hollywood. It is one of 5 fires now burning in a city that is really simply overwhelmed by the scale of this tragedy, and another difficult day ahead. It's those winds. So far, nearly 30,000 acres have burned with very little containment. At least 5 people, we're sorry to say, have been killed. Over 130,000 people are under evacuation orders today. Tony is still in Pacific Palisades. We're happy to say leading our team coverage across LA County. Tony, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Gail. The wind must have shifted just a few moments ago. It's starting to get smoky here again. It's hard to breathe. But let's talk about this grocery store behind me. This was part of a town center that really pulled the Palisades together. The items now charred right there on the shelves where they stood. And charred is a description for just about everything around me. Within a short walk from where I'm standing, there are dozens of homes destroyed, churches and schools gone, even a beloved local library with all of its books still inside, still on the shelves. And that is what 2 days of burning will do. Now there's an all-night, all-out effort from firefighters to hold this fire as best they can. We see them working even as we speak. More than 7,500 crews are on the ground overall, battling what is now 5 big fires, all but encircling the city of Los Angeles and fueled, of course, by those dry.
It's kind of wild that over the course of this fire, we all found out that like a ginormous percentage of mainstream media anchors and like television on-camera personalities are from the Pacific Palisades. At least like for me, it was shocking. So many people are from that area or have been to the Pacific Palisades. Like I've lived in LA for 12 years. I've been in the Pacific Palisades like 3 total times. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful part of Los Angeles. Once I got a ticket on the canyon there, because I was walking my dog without a leash because I was carrying him because he was too tired to walk at the time. Fish. It was really annoying. I've pretty much never been back since then. But it's crazy how many of these guys have like are you know, either have been there or are from there directly. Actually.
Dry conditions and very high winds. Here in the Palisades, it's the most destructive fire in Los Angeles County history, they're saying. More than 17,000 acres reduced to embers and ash, and more than 1,000 homes and businesses and other buildings included, according to LA County Fire. And take a look at this. All along the famous Pacific Coast Highway, some of the most beautiful beachfront properties in the whole wide world, now gone. We've got correspondents on every part of this story this morning, and we're going to begin about 25 miles east of here, the Eaton fire in and around Pasadena. The death toll is at least 5 there, according to officials. And take a look at these images coming in. These are houses just outside of Pasadena on East Altadena Drive. Here's what they look like now as this fire continues to chew through the city of Los Angeles. And you can multiply that damage, that destruction, by the hundreds, if not the thousands, citywide. Just down the street from that devastation is where we find our Chris Van Cleve covering this again this morning. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Tony. We drove down that road yesterday, and virtually every house that wasn't on fire had already burned to the ground. More than 10,000 acres have burned, 0% containment. 750 firefighters from across California and Arizona are working on this fire. There are water-dropping helicopters in the air at this hour. They say an early estimate, 1,000 structures destroyed or damaged. You can only assume that that number is going to grow. Firefighters say if it weren't for the rapid action of police and fire as this fire was exploding, that death toll would be much higher. The around-the-clock battle against the Eaton fire, inflamed by harsh winds, continued overnight as firefighters raced to save what they could.
This one's a loss, which is sad, but hopefully we can save the other ones.
try to keep it so those embers don't kick up.
And move from house to house. And you can see there's houses behind here, so hopefully we can save this whole group of houses.
But for many, help came too late. Do you feel lucky that you got out when you did?
Yes.
91-year-old Dale Short and his girlfriend evacuated their Pasadena home Tuesday, just hours before we found it engulfed in flames. When Short returned Wednesday, only the smoldering ruins of the place he called home for 6 decades remained. When you came back up here, what went through your mind?
I have to be honest with you, it really hasn't hit me all yet. I mean, I've got 60 years of memories in that house and 3 children.
Yeah.
Now it's hitting me.
A few miles away in Altadena, we found what could only be described as a hellscape. This is Altadena, and it's hard to imagine much of anything will be left in this neighborhood. You fire there, you fire there, fire burning over there, more fire over there. That home completely engulfed. There is fire everywhere. Sam John watched as his neighborhood went up in flames.
This is why they call it an act of God. There's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do.
He says he knows his home could be next. How much hope do you have that this all misses your home?
Little to none. If it does, great. If it doesn't, we got out alive. Our neighbors got out alive.
So many people are still holding their breaths until the winds die down, and that's out of the forecast. One of our big questions this morning, it appears that gas lines are still active in this area. Home after home after home, we see these little, what appear to be gas fires burning. We're going to try to find out why that's happening. Tony?
Yeah, we've noticed that too, Chris. Thank you very much.
This morning, a massive and deadly wildfire emergency.
It's gone. That's all we got.
For a second straight night, wind-driven fires engulfing homes. And overnight, a new blaze popping up in the Hollywood Hills and Studio City.
This home now collapsing.
Cars gridlocked, with the famous Hollywood Boulevard evacuated. Along the coast, the Palisades fire exploding to more than 15,000 acres. California's iconic Pacific Coast Highway, now a trail of burnt wreckage.
It's devastating. It is apocalyptic. You feel like you're on a movie set. This does not feel real.
It doesn't even look like a house anymore.
At the Eaton fire burning in Altadena, at least 5 people have died. As the fires began, smoke transforming a sunny day into eerie darkness. Last night, the destruction was plain everywhere. Days after this fire began,
Dude, that's crazy. Like, you're watching people cry because their fucking homes are burned. And there's people being like, garbage city anyway. Like, I mean, it's extra funny because, like, I live here, right? But also, like, this is completely unacceptable when people do this for Florida. It's completely unacceptable when people do it for Louisiana, for Texas. Like, it's so stupid. They're like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, dude. You know, California, they suck. They deserve it. Like, it's just so strange. You know? Only acceptable for the UK? No, it's not acceptable for the UK either. What are you talking about? Saw pretty serious lack of empathy because some of the properties were Airbnbs. Like, I agree, housing is right, but with the way they say housing system is set up, it's not an investment. No, I don't give a shit about the Airbnbs, man. Not all of those houses are Airbnbs. Like, what are you, crazy? Pacific Palisades especially is like an area where people just live. You know what I mean? They're not... Those are not Airbnbs. Like, people's homes burn down, you know?
flames continue to spread.
And it's not even just Pacific Palisades. It's like Altadena. Who's getting an Airbnb in Altadena, dude? What are they doing? Are they going to the Bunny Museum? Is that why? Like, what are you talking about?
Is all that's left of this school. The community mourning what's been lost, including famous residents like Billy Crystal, who wrote of his lost home. Every inch of our house was filled with love. Paris Hilton watching hers burn on TV. And Mandy Moore.
Like, this is what the media does, because this is the most interesting part of it for the average person. So then it leaves the audiences with the idea that like every single person is Paris Hilton, and it's like their Malibu. It's their 11th Malibu property that burned down. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what happened. Okay.
More writing, I'm in shock.
I have never flown in conditions quite like this.
A time lapse showing the Palisades fire's rapid and terrifying growth. Overwhelmed fire crews working around the clock.
Here we go.
NBC Los Angeles learning that the LA fire chief warned in a memo last month that budget cuts would affect its response to emergencies. Mayor Karen Bass pressed after arriving back in the city from a trip to Ghana.
Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Bass later saying budget cuts didn't affect the response. During the peak of the firestorm, city officials say hydrants.
Regardless, it's an affluent neighborhood. Yeah, I don't care that it's an affluent neighborhood. Malibu especially is like incredibly wealthy. Pacific Palisades is like doctors, high earning professionals, and normal people live there too in terms of wealth. But I still don't care. It's like, this is still so much devastation. And the parts that we're not talking about is like Altadena, or even the area where that almost caught on fire near Runyon Canyon. Like the Sunset Fire, if last night's Sunset Fire actually reached the residential areas, that would have devastated the lives of so many people. Okay? I can't empathize. I look at someone like actor James Woods, for instance, and I can't. Yeah, I'm not talking about James Woods. Fuck James Woods, bro. What are you talking about? He should have stayed in his goddamn house. Okay, that's not who I'm talking about. You guys are just like, there's a difference between like, you know, saying fuck James Woods, which I agree, versus like, you know, the Runyon Canyon fire potentially lighting Hollywood on fire. You know what I mean? Or Altadena. Like, it's not just like rich, out of touch celebrities there. Okay, there's like normal human beings. Like 75% of the Pacific Palisades is gone. Yeah, Matt Leib's sister's house burned down.